I refuse to attend my niece's wedding because I do not like her fiance.
It's a good reason.
So for context, there's a 21-year age gap between myself and my oldest brother. This made it so me, 28 female, and his closest daughter, 23 female, are very close in age and have grown up very close. By the way, this comes from proper Mara Jean 4916, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am very much the favorite aunt and have always considered us friends, not just family. She comes to me when she has a problem that she doesn't want to talk to her parents about. She tells me about her boyfriend and friend problems. She would call me when she was in college and needed to be picked up from a party or a bar. And I was the first person she told when her boyfriend proposed, calling me at 6 a.m. in the morning because she was so excited to tell me. My niece and her fiance have been together for 3 years. He is 1 year younger than her. She just graduated in May 2024, and he is on track to graduate in May 2025. Their wedding is scheduled for a week after his graduation. He is studying biomedical and microengineering, but he's more on the introverted side. He has some dry humor. Since she introduced him to the family, we could tell they were serious, so tried to be as welcoming as possible. We invited him to family events, trips, got him birthday and Christmas presents, and generally tried to get to know him. Whenever he's around our family, he acts annoyed all the time, like it's painful to spend time with us. He expects my niece to stay by his side the whole time, getting irritated if any of the little cousins ask her to play, including my children. For context, my niece is my children's godmother. He also expects her to leave at the same time as him, even if they drive separately.
Ooh, sounds a little controlling.
So yeah, he's
at the very least socially awkward.
Yeah, sounds like he hates kids, hates the family, and is not fun. My eldest brother constantly defends him, saying that he's just introverted and that the size of our family makes him uncomfortable. He insists that the fiance is different in smaller groups or one-on-one, but I haven't seen it, not even when it was just the two of them with my husband and me. He talks to everyone like we're stupid and is extremely condescending. After they got engaged, things got worse. Since my niece and I are close, I expected to be asked to be part of the wedding, but she didn't ask me. I was a little hurt, but I let it go because it's her special day and her choice. Then his family planned the engagement party and didn't invite any of my family. She told me that it was just a small affair with only their parents and siblings, but I later found out that she had lied when I saw the pictures on social media. So I confronted her about it, but she said she didn't plan the guest list, so I tried to let it go.
I mean, even if she didn't plan the guest list, that just even more means that the fiance is controlling.
It means like he literally completely had full control of the guest list.
I don't like
Insanity.
this. Red flag after red flag.
So many red flags.
When your partner tries to control who you hang out with, that is a red flag.
Yes.
Unless in the case where like the friends that you're hanging out with are like causing you to do bad things, or like, I don't know, like infidelity or substances, or I don't know, robbing banks.
Later, she didn't invite my mom or me to the dress fitting, saying that there was a limited number of people allowed and she wanted to make sure that his mom and sisters could come. At that point, I told her it really seemed like she was trading our family for his. She denied it, but when I later asked how they planned to spend the holidays, he said they'd be with his family. The last straw came in December and January. In December, she invited my husband and me over to dinner. I was excited because she hadn't initiated hanging out since her engagement. Dinner was nice, though a little awkward since conversation with her fiance wasn't smooth, but overall pleasant enough. When the check came, my husband took care of it after it sat on the table for about 15 minutes, and they didn't offer to split or pay, even though they had invited us. Oof.
That's crazy. You, if anything, the inviter should pay.
Yes, yeah, and just like not addressing it at all. Then, when we were ready to leave, they asked if we could have a serious conversation. I was confused about why we hadn't talked about it during the meal, but they proceeded to ask us for money to help pay for their wedding.
The wedding that you're cutting us out of? Yeah, no, this is, I mean, like, again, it's crazy when people with no social tact go and try to pull something like this. There's like, like you would at least hope there was some like thin veil.
Yeah.
But there's not even a thin veil.
The thin veil was like, I grace you with my presents for dinner that you bought.
Now pay.
She said that it was turning out to be more expensive than they had expected and that they needed help since their parents didn't make enough. I asked why they didn't wait until he had a job instead of just an unpaid internship, another great question, or until she got a full-time job instead of a part-time one. I wasn't saying no, I just wanted to understand why they were rushing the wedding, which was only 8 months weeks after the engagement. That conversation turned into an argument about financial responsibility. Her fiance said that if we could help, we should because it's family. He then added that we had plenty of time to resave after my husband explained that a lot of money was invested for our children's future. You can't demand access to other people's money. This should be a very simple concept. We offered $2,000 as a small contribution, but then my niece brought up my savings from my deceased husband's life insurance. Oh God.
Oh my God.
I asked if she really thought bringing up my passed away husband was going to help her case. After that, we repeated our offer of $2,000, which crazy it's still on the table.
Is a lot.
Yeah.
2,000 a lot.
And her fiance asked if that was really all we would give them.
Ungrateful. Again, if you're going to ask for money, you could employ just some nice, like if you are nice to people, usually they will give you more money. And right now you are being a massive, poopy head.
Yes.
I didn't want to swear.
Poopy head behavior.
Yeah, this is poopy head behavior.
Yeah.
Be nice and maybe you are being the meanest possible and you're still getting $2,000.
And still pushing it.
And still pushing.
Like, don't fumble the bag. So we withdrew the offer entirely.
Good.
We left enraged. Before Christmas, my mom invited them over to bake since the fiance enjoys baking desserts and bread. He was so rude to my mom, she came over to my house afterwards for some grandkid time and tea because she was so sad. My dad was furious, and then neither my niece nor her fiance came to Christmas. At a family get-together around New Year's while driving two of my brothers and their wives home, we had a conversation about how sick we all are of the fiance and how we wished they weren't getting married. Finally, in January, it was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. I had planned a party for them, and afterwards we were taking them to Mexico, a trip that was group financed by my siblings and me. The fiance was only coming to the party since he couldn't miss school for Mexico. The party was fancy, RSVP invitations, a private venue, catered and semi-formal dress code. A week before, my niece texted me to say her fiance wasn't coming because of a fraternity event.
You're going to miss this fancy
your in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary. Your in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary for a frat party. I told her that this was an important family event and that I was rude to back out of an RSVP'd event without a good reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's an RSVP'd event. That's also like important.
Yeah.
It's less that it's like the 50th anniversary. It's more that it's the RSVP.
Well, but like, so like catering and everything, they're paying for the meals.
Exactly.
And all that.
Speaking of, did you do it?
I did it. So I made it clear that I didn't consider his fraternity event a good enough excuse, especially since he had known about the party for a long time. She said she talked to him, but I never heard back, so I wasn't sure if he was coming. The day of the party, he showed up late, wearing a t-shirt, jeans, and backward cap. My mom, still trying to be nice, said she was glad he was there, and he responded like I had a choice.
That is D-bag. Wow. Like I had a choice.
He then sat at his table the whole time, not speaking to anyone or participating in any activities. Halfway through, we were taking a family picture and invited him to be in it. He said, "This isn't my family."
I mean, it won't be soon. You're
Yeah.
about to get in a divorce.
Yeah, it won't be.
Wishful thinking.
My mom started crying and excused herself to the bathroom. I pulled him aside and snapped. I told him that if he didn't want to be part of this family, he should get the F out. I said I was tired of his attitude, disrespect, and tired of pretending to like him and told him to leave. My niece went to follow him. I told her that if she left with him, she could forget about coming to Mexico with us, which, just super quick, I'm afraid of that because then she can get more
Isolated.
And look, it might be in the heat of the moment emotional response, right? And maybe later she's like, I maybe shouldn't have lashed out like that. But
No,
that's what I would be afraid
point.
of.
That's a really good point. I think what this person I think OP's niece is probably feeling more and more isolated. Maybe she's being manipulated by this guy. This is a lot of conjecture, but regardless, what she needs right now is she needs you to bring her closer.
Yes.
And if anything, say like, hey, I still want you to come on this Mexico trip. Please come, but you cannot bring him.
Yes. Yeah. Clear line. Like, hey, we accept you. We're here for you. Like, keep that that line of communication and love open, but hard line on the fiance where it's like, we're not gonna deal with this. But she also made it clear that she was upset that he had been punted out of the event. The adults in the family, about 12 of us, sat down with her to air out our grievances about the fiance so she could understand the extent of the problem. She still defended him, saying that we didn't know him well enough and that we made him uncomfortable. How much more do you need to get to know
The thing is, that probably is true. In terms of like the social anxiety thing we were talking about, like that he probably does feel uncomfortable, and his defense mechanism is being a D-bag to extraordinary levels. And she's seeing like this whole other side to him of like this insecure side. He's showing this doesn't excuse his behavior by any means, but I understand why she's saying that because it's probably true. But I think the rebuttal that the family should say is like, who cares if he's insecure or like uncomfortable if he's acting this way? If you being uncomfortable makes you want to punch babies, I'm taking you away from my baby.
Yeah. You can't let someone do a
heinous
behavior
act
because there's an excuse. So OP says she still defended him, saying we didn't know him well enough and that we made him uncomfortable. After that conversation, I told my husband that I just couldn't act like nothing was wrong anymore. So we declined on the RSVP to the wedding. She texted me asking why we said no, and I met up with her for coffee. I explained to her that I didn't feel that I could support her marriage and that he wasn't a good person, and I felt like her independence and everything that was special about her was disappearing behind his expectations. She disagreed and told me that I just didn't understand. She then told me that if I really cared about her, that I would suck it up and come to her wedding. So am I the a-hole? Should we go to the wedding? And was I wrong for telling her in the first place? We have an update, but maybe we can quickly answer these. First, is OP the a-hole?
No, she needed to put her foot down at some point.
Yeah. It became her circus, so it was beyond her circus by the time she stepped in.
And for the wedding thing, I think that this guy is not good for her at all.
Yes.
Is taking action that is trying to isolate her. He's being rude and like mean to the family. He needs to go figure his stuff out independent of OP's niece. But in the same kind of vein as what you were saying, like you want to have an open line of communication. I think you can voice like, I don't think you should marry this guy, but I'm going to be there for you.
Yes.
To make sure that you have someone you can talk to. And hopefully maybe she'll use that one day. But
yeah. One angle of going to the wedding is just constantly communicating to her, I'm there for you. I'm there for you. I'm there for you. To hopefully when the time is right and when, niece snaps out of it, she knows that she can go back to OP versus
exactly.
Like, maybe if she gets the impression that she's closed out, she's like, oh, now I have no one to turn to. So I would say OP is not the a-hole for not going to the wedding because one, I still think she can do things like going out for coffee and show her that she's there for her. And then also two, that's putting themselves in harm's way, quote unquote, because now they have to
That's a good point.
potentially deal with him at the wedding like they had to deal with him at this event.
Yeah.
We have an update, ladies and gentlemen. So my family is very religious, and so niece and her fiance do not live together or have overnights, and she still lives with her parents with a curfew, God, as long as she's under their roof. So while I agree with the assessment that he's setting her up to be isolated, they aren't currently in a situation or the privacy for financial or emotional abuse. I do also think that he is a self-absorbed person. She agreed to sit down and talk with me again, and I was able to better articulate my concerns for her future and what she is setting herself up for and my concerns about him. We are still not going to the wedding. I explained to her that part of it is because I love her, that ultimately it's supposed to be a special day for her, and that with the way I feel about him, that I would object to the union in front of everyone as opposed to privately. So I told her whatever she chooses, that I am always specifically in her corner, and that I hope that she will still want to spend time with me and my kids, but more than that, to know that she can come to me for any time for anything, which is, I think, exactly what we were saying. Let her know that you're
That's
there
awesome.
for her. And that for her sake, I do hope that I'm wrong about him. By the way, there's one thing that I'm never wrong about. That you can listen to full episodes and stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. By the way, just cracked the top 100 comedy podcasts on Apple Podcasts.
We are a top
Just
100.
cracked it.
Yep.
Oh, so go check out the podcast. Search OK Storytime on your favorite pod app. So, getting into this ending, we did get her a few things off the registry that I knew were more for her than for him. She said that she would think about everything, so we will see what happens between then and now. And to the person who said that they thought I didn't think it through on what this might mean for the future, I can assure you I did. My family means the world to me, and I don't want to hurt her or my relationship with her, but we got to the point where I couldn't stay quiet and just pretend like there wasn't anything wrong. Thanks to everyone for the input. It really helped me organize my thoughts and think everything through with everything that's happened.
Honestly, kind of like a cash money response. I feel like that's exactly. I've been saying that a lot. But I kind of love where we ended. You know, it keeps the door open, but says that you don't like the relationship.
Yeah, OP ended in the perfect place. Shout out to OP.